Okay, welcome everyone to the General Working Group XF meeting. This is our first meeting in the General Working Group. It's February 26th. Your board members are listed here. In the future, ideally, this work group will be managed by chairs, and they would be listed here as well. We've kind of set up a basic template for us to keep things structured, but this is an open forum for everyone to, you know, suggest ideas, make changes to this format. This is just a starting point. So a little bit of meeting logistics in Zoom. Name yourself what you want to be named so we can track you. I think most people in here are recognizable if you're interested in attendance tracking. This meeting is being recorded. If you do not want to be recorded, you must drop out. It's a little bit illegal. All forum meetings and online communications shall be conducted in compliance with all applicable laws, including antitrust and competition laws. Do not discuss interpretation, validity, or essentially of patents or patent claims. Do not discuss specific license rates, terms, and conditions. Do not discuss or engage in the fixing of product prices, allocation of customers, or division of markets. Do not discuss the status or substance of ongoing or threatened litigation. All interactions in these meetings should follow the XF Code of Conduct. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to share this link with you guys. Brand's just joining the call. Um, put that in the meeting notes here. So I'll start off where I was there. All interactions in these meetings should follow the XF Code of Conduct. Please keep all discussions professional, friendly, and civil. Unsolicited promotions, advertisements, or spam are not permitted. Don't be silent if you see any of the above being violated. Raise your concern with the meeting chair or one of us board members immediately or on email. And there's an email here and an anonymous report link if you don't want to have your name associated with it. The agenda for today, typically we would review the minutes from the last meeting. I've put this in here just so that we have some understanding of the structure going forward. This is the first meeting, so congratulations, guys, for being part of that. We're going to talk about structuring effective work groups, launching an educational content initiative, roadmap suggestions, and when the next meeting is. And this is typically how we would approve the meetings. We basically review the slides, which is what this is. So when this is done, we'll be posting it with the recording of the session, checking of the attendance and the summary of the last meeting. And then we'll have an opportunity to approve it. And anyone who doesn't want to can abstain. It's just basic stuff to keep us all in check and some structure. Um, so I wanted to start with structuring effective working groups. Um, First off, we've got these proposed working groups, and right now we've got this general one because everything is, so it's a small group of people. We needed to start somewhere, and we decided as board members that we need to make these decisions publicly, and um, we didn't have a forum for that, so it seemed like the first step would be for us to kind of take that lead and get things started. But ideally, we would find when everyone sort of has an understanding of what they want to do and what work groups sound interesting to them, we would actually start breaking them up. And so we have the suggestions here of a community work group, a documentation and development and funding work group. If anyone has other suggestions for work groups, we can always spin one up. The catch is each one of those really needs to have its own chair, if not multiple chairs, to manage the responsibility and workload, which is basically running meetings like this and doing some prep work beforehand, like creating the deck for the next meeting. And you know, if things get fairly complicated in your work group, you'll want to spend more time with the chairs and people outside of the meetings, because the meetings are just basically presenting the information and getting some feedback for the next meeting. So there's a lot of work for, you know, an effective work group that happens outside of the actual meetings, obviously. So um, this is some basic boilerplate stuff for effective working groups. So clear goals, define the mission aligned objectives and success, find the right people with the right skills and passion, define the roles. So I added some basics here because everything's so new. Everyone is allowed to nominate other people and yourself as a chair for one of these working groups. There's a basic voting process for that so that the group can vote in the chair. I think at this point, anyone who wants to be a chair will be more than welcome. And, you know, somebody's got to do the work, and anyone who's willing to do it will probably be approved, be my guess. Um, and then the terms, the duration of the commitment, we haven't really decided on that. I think that's something for the group to, you know, consider. And the time requirements, I kind of went through that, just what it's going to take to be managing one of these work groups. So open communications required. You need to be using these tools. So we kind of set up this template here. You'll need to be able to run the meetings and record them, and occasionally we'll do these a check-in, plenary or oversight committee, so that all the working groups can get together and talk about what they're doing, and that will, you know, make everyone's work more effective if so there's some moment where we're all able to talk together about what we're working on. Um, yeah, you want to be able to balance the teamwork with independence. There's going to be moments where you're going to have to go off and do some work on your own, and then come back to the group. Um, and Ideally, we'll be able to provide tools, funding, and training. At this point, we're very lean, but as you can see, we do already have the idea of a proposed working group. We have some interest from people in the community to donate to us. We can get into the funding stuff. That'll be an interesting conversation, because this is the general working group at this point. Until we've actually have enough people in these, we might be discussing all this stuff in this working group. And yeah, flexibility, adapt based on the feedback and impact. So obviously, this is supposed to be everyone working together. So you need to be able to change what the plan is and the roadmap. Any suggestions, any questions on this? Okay. All right. So the first main point, what we'd like to bring up in the group is launching the educational content initiative. We're doing pretty well here. I think the main thing is that it's kind of tricky to figure out what is missing from the docs and what people really need in order to onboard to Chia and really understand the technology and the potential. And every now and then somebody realizes there's something that ought to be published somewhere, and we don't really know where to put that. And so that the idea here is to kind of identify a solution for that. And we don't have to do that in this call, but if anyone has ideas, either now or going forward, just let the group know, and we'll put that together. We have our own website, the XCH Foundation site, but we don't have any documentation on there at this point. It seemed like it would be kind of redundant to rewrite stuff that's already out there and done well elsewhere. Yeah, do you have any opinion on this?
Maybe there would be value in connecting the resources, because there's already, as a beginner, you'd go to Chia Docs and then Chia List Docs, which are already two sites. And then if you want to find more about the bridge, for example, you'd go to the bridge docs, or CircuitDAO, you'd go to the CircuitDAO docs. And I think if you really want to dive deep into everything, there will be value in some resource that connects all these documentation sites.
So that would be something like a directory on the XCH Foundation that points to the other places?
Might be places to look for technical resources.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
think,
Greg. Oh, sorry.
No, I was
Go
gonna suggest that you talk actually, VB, because you've got some useful input.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, so just quick introduction. It's Vlees van Daan joining you from the Netherlands. I started the Space Farmers Wiki, so a third-party wiki focused on providing some information specifically to our pool. For example, how to run the community node. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. But also we focus on more technical pieces. For example, like how to set up a Blue Box Time Lord, or as somebody mentioned already in the chat, how to run Chia as a service that they've used that. So it's really third party, right? So nothing connected with Chia officially. It's just stuff that we, as we learn, we output some pages for people to find their way into Chia. And to your previous point, right? If we make a directory for all these links, maybe it's nice for official content, right? Chia content. But then I'm also wondering what happens to these third-party initiatives like our Space Farmers Wiki. Yeah, but really happy to join you guys and talk about these type of things, because we've been a little bit stuck with our documentation. Some things have really gone out of date, and it's been really hard for me to maintain that, as I have not a very technical background. So I really rely on what other people feed me. So yeah, that's really one of my struggles. And I'm also looking, a little bit like how can we position this Space Farmers Wiki in the broader documentation, Chia documentation ecosphere. So yeah, those are a little bit my questions, and I hope to get some answers on that in this call or future calls within the working group.
Yeah, excellent. I think the group really has appreciated what you've done in the past. Obviously, it is a big challenge. So maybe we can, as a group, figure out how to contribute and maintain that stuff. Perhaps a schedule for, an interval where we work on it. I'm seeing here a note from Right Sexy Orc. Hey, how you doing? Perhaps we can also think about economic model incentives to drive positive feedback loops that results in content being generated. NamesDAO is happy to contribute some tokens, bonuses, etc. We've been thinking around things like competitions or bounties for best new user guides. Sounds good to me. It's great to hear there's interest in this, because it is a challenge, and we definitely need somebody to kind of take the lead on this. If any of you guys are interested in being a chair for the documentation working group, that would be a great start, I think, because then we can move forward with some decision making and come up with a good plan. So doesn't have to happen today, but if you do feel suddenly that that's the way to move, and you're willing to take some time for that, that'd be great. And Tim's sharing a wiki.spacefarmers.io link.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. Cool.
Don't click all the links, because some are terribly outdated, but but there's actually some stuff that's still relevant, thankfully. Yeah.
Anyone else have anything they want to suggest?
Well, I was gonna kind of talk. I mean, the spacefarmers.io is, it's kind of this hub of information. But I think the issue is, like VB just suggested there, a lot of it's maybe outdated. And it's probably an ongoing task to kind of maintain this type of thing. And I guess like from the XCH Foundation point of view, how sort of involved do we get? Should there be like an official XCH Foundation type of link out to somewhere? Or is it more of something that the community should be doing? But is it something I'm trying to establish where we sort of sit within this sort of bigger scope of all this information? I don't know. It's just thoughts on that, really. What can we do as a foundation, and how can we help, and how involved do we want to be from a sort of name point of view? Does the XCH Foundation want to start kind of running this type of thing, or is it more of a case of let's guide and have suggestions that this place here is a good place to gather information type thing?
I think that's a good point. Maybe if from what for me would be very nice if we at least do some sort of knowledge sharing, right? Because in the end, if you're doing officially like official Chia stuff or this third party stuff, which may grow in the future, right? If we have a place where we can sort of discuss our challenges, such as well, as mentioned before, right? Accountability or structural maintenance, those type of problems you will encounter throughout all these different platforms. So I think, well, at least something that would be nice, what I hope to achieve with this working group is that we can at least share some knowledge amongst ourselves on how to tackle these things. For me, it's really the very first time. So yeah, if there's people more experienced, I would love to continue that the talk and yeah, share knowledge, and then hope to sort of sustain this effort going into the future.
Well, I know the foundation could support either documentation on our site or a link, directory, or some combination thereof, or a forum for that discussion. You guys probably know we have the Chia forums that we've taken over for CNI, and that might be a good place for active discussion. But if there is willingness and time from the group, we can certainly support any of those initiatives. The challenge has been the board members are all super busy. We have enough time to manage this process and get things started, but we can't, be working on documentation all the time. But so the support is there, and we're willing to do what we can to, help when we decide what we end up doing to present this stuff to the public.
So what would be a good starting point for a work group as such? Would it be kind of annotating all of the existing kind of main areas where information is found, and then kind of diving a little bit deeper into each of those subject matters to see what links are working, what ones aren't working, what ones are out of date, and kind of making a sort of kind of a database as such. I think that'd probably be a good starting point. And that can kind of be just done in either on the XCH on the Chia forum or in the Discord. Yeah, but I guess it's kind of somebody heading that up as such, and then having a structured plan of how we go about kind of looking for all this information, looking at space farmers, looking at Chia links, and then trying to break it down even further into what's working, what's not working, break them down into different subject matters. from each place, and trying to find the best resources, because I think there's an awful lot of good information out there. It would just be ideal if it was in kind of either one or two, established places that the community can sort of get behind and say, yes, this is good information. We know that the information's been looked at and kind of proven. So I guess that's how I'd see a working group kind of starting that process. Anyone else kind of agree with that kind of method?
Yeah, I would second that. I think we should probably agree at least where we're going to discuss this, and I think the Chia forums is a great starting place.
Hello.
Hello?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, Chia Forum to me looks like a good place where we can start learning. I've been learning, so I'm giving you my point of experience. So all the documentations are good, but like I can always grok it like, hey, tell me Chia list. So it's giving me all the every information in one page. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just giving the links. So I don't know what we're trying to do, but I think like for the XCH Foundation page, we just keep the front page like the landing page very simple so that people can find out what they're looking for. Like, hey, you wanna learn or you want help? So they can choose where they go. So I think we just need to focus on the UI of the XCH Foundation. I think we have enough links and Grok or any AI agent or assist whatever. Like it's giving me like so much beautiful results, codes and whatnot and everything. And mixch dot that page is so awesome. Like I can just so I think we should advertise that page too. Hey, you want to practice this code, the Chia list code, write the code and put it here and just you are ready to go. It took me a while to set up my machine. So that was a big roadblocker. I was so frustrated. One of the developers helped me. I asked one of my other friend. So it was a big block for a normal guy like me who's just starting to learn to start with. So I think the mixed page is the best page, uh, and plus any AI search. I think that's it.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's great to hear you're finding the resources you need. While you were talking, I was imagining maybe we have just a page that has basic instructions for anyone who does show up on our site with, the best way to get started and just basically what you said and, a fairly easy to read format, so that if you haven't realized how to find what you're looking for, you can at least start, from what we have on our site. I see Matthew, you have your hand up. Hi.
Hey, hey guys. Um, yeah, I was gonna say, based on the kind of Grok comment, I don't think that, you're going to get the most accurate answers through some general AI, but we use Intercom at SoulsLot, and one of the big reasons why I wrote a bunch of articles for SoulsLot was to actually train the help desk. And one of the features, I think it's like 120 a month for like the full package on Intercom. But one of the features it allows you to do is crawl documents on other people's sites. So you could actually probably set up a help desk, and then if it answered wrong, then you guys could come in and tweak the answer. And it actually lets you create a new snippet. So if it answers something incorrectly, all you have to do is fix that answer, and it will always answer it correctly going forward. So instead of having to like rewrite docs or anything like that, you could maybe use something like Intercom to train on all of the available resources and be able to answer them by scanning all of them at once.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. What would it take for us to set that up?
It's so simple. I mean, I'd be happy to walk you guys through how mine is with like a Zoom call, but I mean, they make it so simple. They have what's called a knowledge base. So you go to intercom, it's a super simple script in the HTML in the index, and it pops up in the bottom right like a chat bubble, and you can actually code it to start open, start close. It can also do like the page walkthroughs, like click this button to learn about whatever, kind of like the wizard helper. And when you go into the dashboard and the admin portal, you just copy and paste the links to your doc sites that you want it to train on, and then it ingests them and then forever has the knowledge.
Got it. So yeah, we'll have to compile this list of ideas. I think there's some great stuff here. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Yeah, great. Shabir here.
Hi, Sabiri. How you doing?
Doing it. I joined a bit late, so I missed first 6 slides. But on this topic, I have I'm thinking and working on something called XCH.ai. So it's similar to what I was like saying about training the content. So I have sections where we would be training on the XCH specific domain knowledge and the details, so which would help people, developers, or anybody who wants to learn more, they can use that. But it's late, but soon it'll be there. So I just want to throw that. I've been working on something like that.
Great. So yeah, I'm gonna
Sorry.
just. Oh, sorry. You still
Yeah.
going?
Yeah, if we are like going to have a call on that, on how to train that within confidence, I like to know how that is done. So maybe include me also. That'll help.
Your audio is a little bit garbled. I don't know if you can do anything about that.
Oh, okay. Is it better?
A little, yeah, it sounds better. Thanks.
Okay. No, I was saying like if you're going to have a call on how to train the model with InterCom, please include me. I also wanted to know how it is done, so I can build something better for XCH.ai.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely be taking you up on that.
Maybe I can share a little problem that I faced, but maybe not, in the context of that building that knowledge base. I spent a lot of time building a wiki article, and that article is true for about 3 or 4 months, right? And then the technology advances, and it's not super relevant anymore, right? Those things happen. So when training an AI model, I think it requires, in the end, I think a lot of vetting of what is still relevant. That's at least some a little bit of a problem that I have encountered. The space moving forward so fast. How do you make sure that all the stuff? Yeah,
that's true. So that's what, like, we need to have like continuous training on the data set, because the data set will continuously move. The general LLMs, like it can scan it and give you the better ones, but if you want more focused, we need to train it continuously. Yeah.
My experience with AI is you basically manage the project knowledge files somewhere else and update those, and then refresh the whole thing every now and then.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like, and it has given me complex tier list code, and it's running. Like, it's compiling and everything. So that's why I'm surprised. Like, I've been training this thing like for a couple for crazy couple like hours. Like every day I'm adding, and yeah, the code is compiling. That's why I was saying like Grok is like just one place to learn, and we just need one place to execute. Mix.dev. But yeah, Matthews, what you're saying, like I'm still trying to grasp everything, learning. I will try what he's saying to learn more and see if it helps me.
Yeah, it's
Well, you're
also
getting.
a good way. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like when you do like surveys or like when you have a help desk, like you actually know the questions that people want to ask. Like even if like, yeah, I mean, AI might be able to accomplish 60% of the answers, but like as long as you have someone going in and reading all the questions and then a human intervening, like with that one-on-one, like, hey, I saw that, you know, you're asking this very specific question and it wasn't the best answer. Here's a better answer. And you can go in and tweak it that way. But you also will kind of know what people want to learn instead of kind of, you know, having to figure out that by just generally compiling a bunch of information, like allowing people to maybe submit questions and like figure out what the demand is that way would probably save you guys a lot of time too.
Got it. Got it. That's what I was asking my friends, but I got it. Thank you.
So I've
Yes.
I've created a post on the Cheer forum. So I think we can start with kind of what we said earlier about kind of doing a stock take. So anybody on the call and obviously people that go on the forum can kind of add to that, and we'll try and minimize the amount of nasty links that could possibly be put on there. But I think that's a good start anyway, and then we can progress from there when it comes to educational content. And but yeah, I think what we're talking about right now is quite valuable. So keep it coming.
Work.
Are you still there, Greg?
Yeah, I was just leaving a little space in case anyone wanted to jump in.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been looking at the stuff going on in the chat here. Just wanted to call it out. So Brendan did share his XCH Dev starting guide. I think that's probably really worth everyone's time to take a look at. I'm imagining that's going to evolve over time, uh, knowing how he works. And there's some other interesting stuff in here. Right, Sexy Orc suggests a Chia adoption working group, and I just going to go back to this previous slide. Some of you weren't here when I covered this, but we have these proposed working groups, and one of them is the community, which I think would kind of be what that would, we'd cover that there. I don't know if we need something specific for adoption. I think it's probably general enough, but we definitely think that's crucial. Obviously, what we want to do is get people really excited about the technology and have a good experience for people who are new to it. Sounds like some people here are really excited about it. It's great to hear that. And so yeah, that's definitely in our plan. And if anyone's ready to step up as a chair for that working group, we can spin it up and have an official launch of that chair of that working group or any of these other ones when we're ready. I think there's plenty to talk about for all of this stuff, and actually turn into action.
Yeah, I can jump in on that one as well. I think yeah, I'm very much in favor of the community side of things and marketing. I don't want to go too much into that because I think we could probably have a whole call about that probably in the next meeting. But I think there's a case to be made for generating some funding and actually doing some proper marketing towards the community side of things rather than obviously CNI have got their own agenda, and I think the XCH Foundation is kind of looking at how we support, NFTs, tokens, names DAO, all these type of things that's kind of not really under CNI's banner. So I won't go too much into it now, but I think the next meeting should probably be more about that. And I think without going too far, I think there should be funding and a proper marketing sort of budget / schedule to kind of hit some of those. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Right, Sexy Orc is suggesting that the working group names may need to be stronger, which I don't disagree with. These are just sort of general buckets for, the things that we think were important, but obviously, if we have enough people who want to focus on a very specific set of concerns, then the idea is we just spin up the working group for that. And we currently have just a general one because we don't have that momentum yet, but it would be great to see that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we can, we'll probably got about another 10 minutes or so, but I think if we can just stick to the the educational content. I mean, is there any more we can kind of discuss on that? I think the first take, like you say, is to do this stock take, try and find out what's what, and what do we need to kind of accomplish with that, and does anybody really want to be, or does anyone want to kind of put themselves forward as this kind of chair or lead person that we can kind of feed back into? I'm looking at you, VB. I'm just joking.
Yeah, maybe community, not so much, but for documentation, I may be interested.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be on your own. I think all of us, us as board members, we are, we're all doing our own things, and so are you. So I think, it's kind of working as a team, but it'd be nice to kind of have somebody kind of in charge as such to feed information to, and to try and get these calls going with on a more regular basis type thing. So no one has to decide anything right now. It's just kind of a better plan of action, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll flag my interest for sure, and I have to think a little bit about my commitments. As I mentioned before, we have a little one on the way. Maybe with the sleepless nights, it will be a little bit challenging for me. But yeah, definitely interested to contribute. Yeah, bring it forward.
Fantastic. Yeah, so sort of going back to this then, kind of the talk around this content. We kind of talked about the XCH Foundation having this kind of, I guess, simple page of here is where you find this information. Is there anything else we want to kind of talk about today when it comes to this educational content? Is there is there a case for maybe talking to all of the people that run these various sites to try and form one coalition type thing? I don't know, I'm just spitting ideas out.
Yeah, I would say like that needs to be there. For example, like Slowest Time Long, he has a lot of great content, right, on the marketing side, and he know how to create the sites and maintain it and make it as a collaborator, right? So likewise, like we have a lot of players in here. We need to pull them in, and kind of like if we are going to have as educational content in one place, somebody needs to moderate and then extend it with all the other folks, like so they can add or contribute to different sections in kind of like a guest post or a guest articles, so they can write it there and review it and publish it. So that's another way to pull in more folks into this initiative. They may not be actively part of XCH Foundation, but they like to add one article, so they can always like bring it in as part of it or improve it. And it should be an open one, like where people can send out a merge and they can merge it like a GitHub pages. So anybody can propose it and make changes. Or if you want to keep it private, then maybe like WordPress, where user can create with the permissions, create post, something like that. But your point is correct. Like we need to extend it and incorporate more of content creator what we have and get their support also for this education content. It shouldn't be feel like only XCH Foundation work. It should be XCH Foundation is leading and other folks are contributing from community.
Yep, that's kind of the idea. I think, looking at the bigger picture side of things, what we kind of see with the XCH Foundation is you know, we can concentrate on sort of funding and making these high level decisions that that are needed. But really, we want to try and galvanize the community to come together and be an alternative to CNI. You know, that's the idea, that we want to we want the community to help themselves with kind of guidance where it's needed. You know, there's no, we're not in the position where we want to be, you know, making decisions or these micro decisions. It's kind of just it's getting people together and talk about it like we are today, and to try and boost the ecosystem where we can. And then, you know, if we can come up with plans and kind of maps of how we want to do things, then we've got a case to go and look for funding and ask people for funding to try and to do the more, I guess, the more expensive type things like marketing and things like that. So but yeah, I think this as a kickoff meeting, this is kind of a good place to start, because there's kind of low hanging fruit where we can sort of just collate information and just try to galvanize some people. So that's kind of where I'm coming at from the XCH Foundation side of things. So yeah.
Have you guys thought about doing a token? Obviously not a security token, but like a community token or something like that for marketing?
It's not been discussed. You know, I think there's potential for that type of thing. I think and same with kind of NFT type things and membership NFTs and membership plans and things like that. So these things have kind of been talked about. So they will come in time. They just need to be kind of ironed out and get this kind of community feedback as well, you know. So yeah,
I think like
those things will come.
you could probably, like, I think a lot of the companies, like, we would buy some verification package or like some sort of XCH Foundation like banner, like Better Business Bureau style, that essentially says, hey, the XCH Foundation is like, we're a partner, or like a, you know, bronze, silver, gold partner of the XCH Foundation. And you know, that'd probably be a good revenue model, and then offering some sort of premium help support. But you know, I think that if you guys are out here to say, hey, this isn't a scam, or this, hey, this is something that, you know, you should definitely check out, sponsorships like that would probably do well for marketing that doesn't cost you guys a ton, maybe makes you some money.
Yeah, appreciate that kind of feedback. I think yeah, that's definitely where it comes into you know, the funding side of things. You know, we've certainly had ideas on that, and there's people that are willing to donate and to get involved, and I think you're right. I think there's different tiers that we can possibly set up, you know, when it comes to the foundation, of what assistance we can give and things like that. So that's to be ironed out when we start talking about funding in a bit more detail. But yeah, good thoughts.
So we have a few minutes left. I just wanted to wrap things up. Anyone have anything they want to cover before that? Okay. So for next time, I suppose we'd like to hear about some roadmap suggestions for the working groups. What's missing, new opportunities, how to prioritize. And so if you could keep that in mind for the next session, that would be great. Speaking of which, the next meeting is scheduled for March 12th at the same time. And I threw in some stuff here. I didn't know what we were going to cover, but we do have some general stuff that hopefully we can bring Seth in for, which was the XCH coin mark design and the logo design. We may have a more concrete agenda for the next meeting. Anyone have anything they want to make sure gets on there?
For the next meeting, I think we could probably obviously recap what we've done today and where we're at with this. But I think another priority should be probably the community side of things, and going into a bit more detail about what's needed from us compared to CNI. That's kind of thing. I think that should be kind of the highlight of the next one.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? All right, great. Well, thank you guys for joining. This has been wonderful. We'll try to nail the the problems we had, and look forward to hearing from everyone again soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, guys.
you.
Thanks.